Hello and welcome, dear students on all Wello platforms. This English language course is provided to you by Wello, the World E-Learning Organization, and me, Manel Gafaroui, TESOL holder from the American TESOL Academy, Morocco, and the NTC, Cairo, the Ministry of Investment and International Cooperation, Egypt. So let's get started. This language level falls into 3 units. By the end of Unit 1, you'll be able to say your name and ask for another person's name. You'll also be able to ask for phone numbers, spell names, learn the names of several countries, show respect by using titles, ask for email addresses, ask about age, ask about a person's job, to start and end a dialogue, and this is in Unit 2. By the end of Unit 3, you'll be able to describe a place, to talk about family, to know several names of food and drinks, and to ask for the price. So these are the objectives of level 1 of the English language course. So let's go back. Let's get started on our lesson 1. Okay, in this lesson, you'll be able to know how to ask about names and how to ask about phone numbers. In order to achieve these two situations, you need to learn the basic uses of English pronouns and the names of English numbers. So let's get started. If we look at this picture, we'll see that there are people trying to get to know each other. So for example, Stephen and Emil are getting to know each other. See how Stephen is introducing himself to Emil. Stephen starts by saying, I'm Stephen. He uses I and or am. So I here is a subject pronoun. It refers to the person who is speaking or to the speaker. So if I refer to myself, I'll say, I am Manel. So Stephen introduces himself by saying, I am Stephen. I am, and then his name, or he makes here short because he's talking and says, I'm Stephen. Okay, there is another way of introducing your name, and this way is used by email. Let's see. She says, my name's email. My name is email. So what happens here? Email uses a different structure or different language tools to introduce her name. So email uses my, and my here is not a subject pronoun. My is what we call a possessive adjective. Why we call it adjective? Because it always comes before a noun. So I can say my name, my blouse, my cup, and so on. And it's possessive because it indicates that the noun belongs to the person to whom the pronoun or the adjective refers. So, Emil here refers to herself. That's why she says my. My name is Emil. And here it makes it short by saying my names. She does not use is in the full form because this is a conversation. And it's very common in English conversation to use short forms. Instead of saying I am, you can say am. Instead of saying my name is, you can simply say my name's. So students, our dear students, these are two ways to say your own names. either to use the subject pronoun I with am, or to use the possessive adjective my and then name. So far, so good? Okay. Now let's move on to another point. What if I want to know the name of the person I'm talking to? This is actually what Stephen is trying to do. He asks email about her name. So he uses a question. The question is, what's your name? To make it faster, what's your name? Remember that in conversation, we use connected speech. We don't pronounce words individually. What's your name? No, we have to connect words together. So what's your name? What's your name? Good? Okay, so you can use this question to ask for the name of another person you're talking to. Let's see what we notice in this question. You'll notice here that Stephen does not use my, he uses your. Why is that? Because he's not talking about himself. He's talking about the person he is addressing, who is or which is email. So if you are talking to someone face to face and asking this person about his or her name, you can use your. Your name means the name that belongs to you. Okay? So here to recap, we knew how to use our names and how to ask about somebody or someone else's name. Okay, now let's move on to what would you say once you introduce or you know each other's name, or you know the name of a person you haven't known before. You can simply use the expression, nice to meet you. So this expression is used in English with people whom I don't know and I haven't known before. It's the first time to meet them. Okay? So now you know how to introduce your name, how to ask about another person's name, and what you say after getting to know each other. Okay. Now, how or what is the difference between I and you? I know that I points to myself. When I speak about myself, I am the speaker. So when do we use you? I use you when I point to the person I'm talking to. You may ask a question. So what is the difference between you and your? It's pretty simple. Look at what follows. You is a subject pronoun. It refers to a person and it always comes in the beginning before a verb. So I say you are. You is a subject pronoun referring to the person I'm speaking to and followed by a verb which is are. However, your is a possessive adjective. It always comes before a noun, not a verb. And it does not refer to a person. It refers to the relationship between something and the person it refers to. So when I say your name, it means that the name belongs to you. So far, so good? Okay. So now you know the difference between I, you, my, and your. Okay. Now let's move on to phone numbers. It's very important to know how to give phone numbers. And it's a very common situation that you come across in your everyday life when you meet foreigners or people who belong to another culture or speak another language. So in order to know how to ask about phone numbers, you have first to know the names of the numbers in English. So usually the numbers we need in order to give phone numbers are from 0 to 9. But in this lesson, we'll also know numbers after 9 from 10 to 12. So let's read them together. First, 0. As I try to repeat so that you learn faster. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now let's move on to how can I know the phone number of a person? So I want the question now. It's very easy. So I can use what's your, or to be faster, what's your mobile number. And there is a piece of information to make it simpler to you when you ask somebody about personal information or information about themselves. You can simply use watcher as a chunk and then the word referring to what you want to know. So what's your name? Here, what's your mobile number? So listen to it again. What's your mobile number? Good. What if someone asks me that question to know my mobile number? So how can I give my number? Remember that in English, we read phone numbers individually and in groups. So for example, we don't say 79, but rather 79. So what's your phone number? It's 079 54 544 768. As you notice, I read the numbers individually and in groups, okay, in threes or in twos. Either 3 numbers following each other and then I stop, or 2 numbers following each other and then I stop. So I'm gonna try it again. 07 95 45 44 768. So here I divided them in groups of 2, or I can divide them in groups of 3. 079 545 44768. So this is how you read or you say numbers in phone numbers in English. A quite important remark is that the 0 in phone numbers have 2 ways of pronunciation, or rather has two names, either to say 0 or O. So I can say it's 07954. Okay? Another remark that you have to notice about phone numbers. What if a number is repeated? Instead of saying 44, you can use double 4. Okay, so I think you now know how to ask about mobile numbers. What's your mobile number? What's your home number? And then if someone asks you the question, you simply say the numbers or the numbers of your phone number individually. Okay? Okay, so the last point I'd like to talk about in this lesson is how to start and end a dialogue. In order to know this, have a look at these 2 dialogues. How these started. Stephen started his dialogue by saying, hello, hello. Okay? While here in this dialogue, Tim starts with hi. In English, hello and hi are 2 expressions that you can use to start a conversation with anybody, whether you know for the first time or you already know. But pay attention that hello is more formal than hi. And that means that if you are talking to your manager, do not use hi, but rather use hello. Okay, if you are talking to a friend, you can start with hi or hello. Okay, so to recap what we studied in this lesson today, we learned how to say names by saying am and then my name, or my name is and then my name. Also, we learned how to ask for somebody's name by saying what's her name. Okay, we learned